Yesterday at approximately 3:15, we were called to Washington Avenue. It's in the area of the Carver housing, and on some shots fired. As we talked to the victim, we learned that this shooting was a retaliation possibly to a shooting that occurred back on September the 8th at Orleans Terrace. Mind you, all three of these suspects that's charged in yesterday's incident were in the apartment that was targeted at Orleans Terrace back on September the 8th. A little bit about that case. It is still under investigation. We're continuing to talk to people. We're still receiving information from the public, as we did that night. Told us that they gave us a description of a couple of vehicles. They gave us the area where the incident occurred. We were able to establish that there was shots fired inside the residence on Washington Avenue. They gave us a description of the people who lived there, told us who they were or who the lady was. We got her vehicle description. We broadcast that out to units in the area. We were also given information and a tag number for the suspect vehicle, who had three males leave the rear of the apartment and go to the suspect vehicle. That vehicle was described as a white HHR Chevrolet product. They did give us the tag number. We also knew that the resident of that address drove a white van. So units were in several areas of the city looking for two different vehicles. We were able to pull that van over at Buffalo and Tipton Street. So some of the calls that came out that the police had activity at Buffalo and Tipton Street, that was the victim of the shooting. Inside that van was the resident, the victim's brother, the victim's girlfriend, and the victim. The victim had a gunshot wound to his left upper leg. He was transported immediately to the Johnson City Medical Center, where he was treated and released. At that time, officers also were able to pull over the suspect vehicle, the white HHR. They pulled it over in the 1700 of Bell Ridge Road. It's near Park Place Apartments. A white female was the driver of that vehicle, and two black male subjects in that vehicle were brought to headquarters. The black male subjects have been identified as James Davis of 1400 Orleans Street and Spencer Moore of 2007 East Fairview Avenue. Both of them were subsequently arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder and especially aggravated robbery. A third suspect who was at the scene of Washington Avenue and who actually fired the shots was dropped off at another location. We spoke with several neighbors who were very important in this investigation. First and foremost, without the community's help, without them getting involved in the area they live, it would make our job a whole lot more difficult. So hats off to them for continuing to call in and to assist us on all of our investigations when we seek assistance.